KMS
Pierce woke up in an asylum, installed in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. He met Dr. Colden, a female friend of Bradley, who helped him to escape. Wandering through the corridors of this place where Dr. Fuller reigned supreme, Pierce was able to talk to a man called Francis Sanders. Before dying in full view of the detective, he accused Sarah Hawkins of being the cause of his torments. Pierce finally left the accursed building, accompanied by Bradley and Colden. The companions of misfortune decided to use the Hawkins mansion as a hideout. The mansion again. Okay. Cthulhu. Definitely Cthulhu. Squid-like eye. Octopus eye.
Who goes there?
Get from the asylum. Hey.
That nightmare again. I need a drink.
Drink. Huh? Who's speaking? Oh. Oh, great.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Oh. Like a
Did
million
I
plus.
sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
I did.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
I heard you talking earlier.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
the rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
There lies
And
in your
then?
problem.
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel.
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Yes.
He was a
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Pierce called on Bradley to play the solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the shambler that the unfortunate man mentioned before he died.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here.
Oh.
You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
A weird photo, pictures on the wall.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack?
Huh.
What happened?
Flew around the room like a whirling dervish.
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
The corridors are full of gut buckets and great crazy people.
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Just want to go rooting through your house first.
May I ask you what Miss Baker is doing here? How do you know her?
My business with Miss Baker is private, Mr. Pierce.
But you do know what kind of business Miss Baker is in, don't you?
I am no fool. Please believe that much, at least.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit. Because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Have a look at this picture on your mantelpiece.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Down this picture, is it? Oh, another reconstruction.
A house of artists. Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? A house of artists. He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom?
It is moving. Like a portal. Oh. Okay.
She didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated. Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins? The Shambler. I need to see it.
You don't lose your eyeballs. Oh, I love that. I'll take that with me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, that's weird as well. All your photos, your pictures are all very strange. A bit of a morbid taste there.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
This one?
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Irene, I made a mistake.
Sorry.
I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids.
I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Dear Francis, I beg you to give up all hope of ever owning this accursed painting. If our friendship has any meaning for you, please spare me the weight of guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the Shambler. Your friend, Sarah Hawkins.
An old diary.
This volume spent some time on Reverend Wickwood's community. His wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend's congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of the community, her husband included, began to speak of their vision as a messenger sent by God. She is sacred, so she is scared that it will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe. Oh, hello. I'll have that. And what's that? Kind of encyclopedia of monstrous and unknown creatures. I'm beginning to believe they exist. Malus Bestiarum, Volume 2. Always number 1.
That's
Hi.
twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Oh, what's it say?
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
There's more than that, Miss Baker.
So people have been talking behind my back. I was almost beginning to like you, Mr. Pierce. But it stays Cat for you.
You knew the Sanders?
Irene is a friend of mine.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Dissertation on an anatomical question. It is the work of a student in book form. Although the observations are relevant, they lack the expertise of an experienced physician. However, the question asked allows us to imagine new ways of exploring human anatomy. New ways of exploring.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
What I'm going to do first, I'm going to have another wander around here. Go down here first because I want to make sure I've examined all the other rooms. You have some very weird pictures on the wall. That's it. So let's go and have a look in the gallery then, shall we? Right. Ah. Like the Natural History Museum. Why have you got a hiding cupboard in here? What am I hiding from? Look, it's the Codfather. The heck is that? It's like an Egyptian Sphinx, but not quite. Weird.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Pre-human times, I think. What the heck is that? Ah, there it is there, I think.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Very tasteful. Baby.
The public entrance to the gallery.
Public, huh? Right. Hell is that thing? He's got a lot of weird stuff around here. It's like a death mask. Someone's death mask? What death mask?
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
They're fossilized in rock. Scarab. Oh, my luck. Answer up, thank you. Very strange picture. Yeah, it's like a lion, but it's not. That's what we come to see. Weird looking thing. Big mouth. Get pulled into it now like a portal. Nope. Too late. Uh-oh. I think you need to go. Oh dear.
What the hell was that?
Very good question.
What the hell was that? Maybe I can use this dagger.
Pull that one. What one do I choose? There's about 3 daggers.
Damn it!
No. Not that one.
What the hell was that?
Right, so let's try this one.
Yep. This dagger looks different.
Huh. Different? They all look equally weird. Fuck off! Oh, it's a real pain in the ass. Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm gonna pick this up your ass. Yes. Breath. Uh-oh, you've been slimed.
What's the matter with you? Don't tell me that you're going crazy, too.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so, too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
Between what Irene told me and what I read in Sanders' library, I preferred to be cautious. You seem pretty keen to go it alone. At worst, you would have confirmed my fears. At best, you would have cleared the way to my merchandise. Thank you, Detective. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
Shambler did that to be much more than the artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins, as a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the Nameless bookstore. Pierce decides to pay the library a visit. That last section was, you got about 12 knives you got to stab the painting with, and you got to choose the right one. So it took me a while, but it was in the far room near the wall. That was a challenge. And he died a few times.
Where's the bookseller? Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
Right. Practical work written by Sigmund Freud, the psychologist describes the techniques of an analytical interpretation of dreams. The analysis must follow several rules, especially that of free association, a principle announced by Freud at the end of the 19th century, which dreams are a way of revealing buried desires. I cannot believe that this theory is applicable to my nightmares. We've got 6 points to add in here. These characters. Yeah, he doesn't look very good, does he? His tentacles growing out of his chin. Cylinders.
An old diary.
Diary of the Pastor's Wife, Volume 4. The pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to the voice in his head because it holds the truth. Darkwater History, Volume 2. A Puritan colony led by Reverend John Wickwood settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shades of the sea. He believed it was because of the peculiar colour of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviours. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. Oh, hello. Old Boney. And that Handbook of Anatomy and Dissection, Book 2. Oh, I think I've already got the other one of this. As precise and illustrated with as much detail as the first volume. This book focuses on healing, surgery, specific malformations, and motor disorders. Right. Yeah. Reverie of Medicine, Tome 3. Even a few years back it was possible for a single practitioner to know all the medical knowledge of his time. This book, which concludes the series, shows that this is now virtually impossible. About 10 renowned doctors took part in putting together this collection. Basically cure everything with leeches, probably. Ethology. Right. Right, there's a secret behind there.
A strange amulet. I have a feeling I'd better not touch it.
Strange amulet. The pendant is in the shape of a large dog. Don't know what it represents. I might find out more by searching in a bookstore. Oh, book 1. The least can be said about this book is that its title is well conceived. The illustrations of human anatomy and dissection methods presented are illustrated in great detail. You have to have a strong heart or the detachment proper to doctors to consult its pages. I'm sure I'll be fine. Not letting me look at that yet.
What happened here? Let's start over. Where did they break in from?
Right there, maybe.
Blood. Seems like amateur work. Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably. No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt then? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene?
One that doesn't leave the crime scene.
What killed all these animals? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the... Charles Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
Oh. Safe's open now.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
The page seems to be hidden here. It is possible to read. If somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this place of reality, in order that they may be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother if she is still of this world. The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possessions. It lies within my safe, and the clues to the combination can be found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combines in the Greek world. Found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world. So maybe that's the Greek book sector. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination. Indeed, despite my preference for organised chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say a genius, was match my intellect and find the combination of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its content to the safekeeping of my friend and college professor, Armitage, at Miskatonic University. The content of this safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. Hope you'll be able to appreciate the danger this represents, and that you will accordingly, in the event, I will neither be there to guide nor to suffer from your actions. Finding the 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills? What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Key of Ryla file. This key bears the elder sign. It is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion, hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, a star and a branch whose purpose is to push back the forces of the great old ones were engraved at its centre. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. The press cuttings that mention the misdemeanour, the date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips off to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it. I have to find the code. 2-digit code.
Arkham editions. Never heard of him.
An ancient Frisian manuscript translated by William R. Sandbach. The text claims that in the distant past, Europe and other continents were controlled by the mothers of this people, and moreover, that the alphabet is derived from the Frisian language. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and supernatural. Sounds like a blast.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Collection of essays on American folklore and urban legends, written by Albrecht Wellmarth, professor at Miskatonic University. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and supernatural.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Different one. Frisian manuscript translated by some. The text claims it is distant past Europe and other continents controlled by the mothers of the people. I'm over that alphabet. Right, so I've read that one.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of him.
Written by Hermes Trismegistus, translated and edited by Nathaniel M. Coppelius. This collection of texts of different beliefs was written by a legendary philosopher. It includes a translation of the Emerald Tablet, possible text among the 16th century alchemists. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious treatise on treatises and works of esotericism and supernatural. Yeah. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Key text of Madame Blavatsky's Theosophical Movement, written by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Also known as the Nightmare Lyrics, this collection of poems was sensationally received and first published in 1908 Darby was only 18 years old.
Arkham editions.
Arkham.
Never heard of him.
Reedition by Claudia D. Waiters, based on L.W. De Lawrence's original. Right.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Written by Nostradamus. Prophecy, translated by E. Leononi, a Theophilus Widebridge. This volume is part of the blah blah blah. Got books everywhere.
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them. A kind of chalice.
Goblet seems to be very ancient. It seems to be made of gold and decorated with real precious stones, with the rubies and sapphires make up a specific motif. 19th century, as American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the water surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because up till then the region was a favoured refuge for cetaceans. In 1847, after months of pursuit, sailor returns to port with a gigantic creature on board. His crew asserts that the sea monster had eaten all the disappeared whales. After a night of ferocious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast onto the whaling ship. Cylinder 1.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
It'll be this, yeah?
The Chalice of Knowledge.
Can't tilt it the other way though. Right.
Things are not looking good.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
There's something to do with the chessboard.
The Queen has little protection.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to...
Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking. What did Drake say about this collection?
Volume 3.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
Yeah,
So
volume
these
9.
are the volumes that Drake was
Volume
talking about in his
7.
mess. What did Drake say about this collection?
That's it. Volume 9. Is that the third code? Must be 9. Something 9. I think that's 9, the third one.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
How many rubies are on there?
The Chalice of Knowledge.
1. Looking at the crack, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rubies. 5, something 9.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
The Queen has little protection.
3, 5, 3, 9. No. 5, 3. Aha! Right first time. I am a genius.